Alright, guys, it's time to talk about a very, very entertaining show that I think a lot of America has been following throughout this summer, and that is Love Island USA. That was not bad, actually.
Exactly.
And so the finale just happened, and I think this season especially has been a whirlwind for everyone that's been watching. And I think we got like a kind of storybook ending to the season with Amaya and Brian winning the season.
Amaya Papaya!
Yeah. And I think there was a lot to take away from the season. I think a lot of people at times were frustrated with the lack of true connections or the connections being voted off from the show.
Oh Lord, I know.
But no, I have nowhere to go. I think we could talk about a lot from this season, but I want you to, aside from Amaya and Brian, because I know that's probably like the thing that's been at the forefront of people's minds, especially after the finale. What was one element of the show that you thought was positive and one that you thought was negative?
Yeah, that's a good question. As far as positives go, I enjoyed seeing, the friendships and the comedy. I think the friendship and comedy there, especially between Nick, Ace, Taylor, that they were very entertaining to me. Like anytime they came across the screen, and even the girls too, they were entertaining as well. As far as like everyone brought different things, I would say, as far as positives go, and for me, I enjoyed everybody. I really did, and I genuinely enjoyed. There wasn't necessarily one person where I was like, "Can you get off my?" I mean,
Really?
As far as when I say that, I mean in terms of like, for me, I like the drama. I like the toxicity. So for me, I was like, "Hey, you help it, this shit." But I mean, towards the end, of course, I'll admit this goes into my negative. Like, okay, I had fun with it, but now it's like, okay, can we get serious now? Can we get serious about the love and everything and all that? And so for me, one of the strongest genuine connections I thought was like Ace and Shelly for sure. And so for me, when like Chris and Huda still survived, and then even Iris and Pepe. I mean, Iris and Pepe is still a couple, but as far as if we're talking about genuine connections and everything, I thought Ace and Shelly
genuine from this like long term, because
I'm talking about in terms of long term. Because like when you think about it, Ace and Shelly were like, again, they explored different connections too, but they still found their way to each other, and I felt their love was more wholesome. Like on the show, you didn't ever see anything outlandish with them or anything like that. Like when I mean like as far as nighttime activities and everything like that. But for me, like I thought that it was shocking to me that they didn't even make it to the final four, especially when they chose to be exclusive and closed off. But then at the same time, that's another negative too. Like there were like a lot of couples you could argue that were like that had connections and that were close, but then they ended up being voted off, like Taylor and Clark, and even Charlie too, and like with Hannah and all that.
And
Hannah herself especially, and so that was and then with Huda as well too. There was a lot with her for sure, but like I said, she was entertaining, and for me, I was cool with her. I was honestly cool with her because hold on, let me like after I was like, wow, with Jeremiah it was kind of crazy and everything. I was like, okay, I was hopeful for, okay, she got a new connection with Chris and everything. Like again, I'm strictly speaking about connections. That's all. I'm not speaking about her as I'm specifically talking about romantic connections, just to be clear. So yeah, with her and Jeremiah it didn't work, and then with her and Chris, I was like, okay, there's potential there. Like there's like gonna be something there, something special. Like I was trying to be hopeful and everything, because it's like mean, we ain't got no like long term. We only got Ace and Shelly, so I guess I got to do something. And then Nick and Landry wasn't together yet, so I was like, all right, let's see what happens. And then for me, I was like, oh man, didn't work out with her and Chris and all that. That finale episode was, man, I was like, I could not believe it. It was just craziness, but yeah, overall, it was just, I think a lot of the voting, I think people were, I understand a lot of people being upset about certain votes happening. I know you were upset about certain, votes with some people, but for me, it was still an enjoyable season. But I think definitely, I'll say, the last thing I will say is making sure everyone does background checks, on people before. Because it would have been interesting to see two certain characters, two certain people in there and everything before, after all the stuff that came out and all. But yeah, like I said, I'm just speaking about the connections and speaking about the show in general. It was entertaining in its own way, and then as far as the love goes, it was like, it was a little shaky. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little shaky.
Yeah. I think one thing, two things in my head that really stick out. One is it actually pertains to like us as America, like watching the show and our voting and how like impactful it kind of was. Indirectly, a lot of times we were responsible for people getting sent home, because when we would vote for like a lot of times this year, it would be like our favorite boy or our favorite girl, and like the people that got the fewest votes, those people were on the chopping block. They were like possible or single and vulnerable to like get voted off. I think America's votes at times, I think they could be lightheartedly and like messy. Like for example, like when we were voting for the three bombshells, Pepe, Jalen, and Iris to come on the show, that came on the show, and then we were voting for them to be coupled up with someone. Like, it made no sense, really, for Iris to be voted with Jeremiah. And I think that was just, like, that's funny.
Messy. Yeah,
that's messy. Yeah. That's messy, but, like, I understood. Like, I get it, and it's kind of just lighthearted. So, like, it wasn't, like, I wasn't really angry about that. But, fast forward to the end of the season, and people now, they're voting for top 4 couples, and people didn't know it at the time, but Hoda and Chris, they clearly did not have a good connection, because it ended up being cut off in the finale. Like, in the finale episode, she friend zoned him. Okay?
Friend zone. Ooh, a friend zone.
So, like, I just don't understand why people are so combative, and then in the comments, I'm reading the comments, and people are just like, I'd still vote for Hoda, like, no matter what. And it's just showing now, like, it's not about people voting now. They don't vote based off connections. They vote off people based off who they like. And so a lot of people, surprisingly, in the first half of the season, I thought Hoda was not very liked by most of America. It somehow turned the other way, where she was kind of liked by most of America, and she almost, like, single-handedly, basically, almost won Love Island. And so that's just the theme for me, where I think perhaps they're, like you said, with background checks, maybe they need to like make sure people that are voting, they're actually 18 years and older, perhaps. Because I think a lot of kids were voting and they just vote based off of what's just funny to them. And yeah, no, I thought that was the thing that was just annoying to me. Second, I think a lot of people now who need to come on the show, of course you want to see people on the screen, like, they're going to be seeking out people that are, like, objectively attractive people. I think to steer away from the conspiracy theories that could come on, you don't want to have, like, people who are already famous. Because I think a thing that came about was with Ace and Shelly. Like, they knew each other before.
Oh, Lord.
No, I'm not saying... This is not me.
Yeah, no.
People are saying this. People are saying that they thought that they could have perhaps already had a relationship.
They did not. They did
Oh,
not.
I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying, like, you can't deny, like, people had that opinion. And so they were already also famous as well. A lot of people had, like, Hoda, I think, already had, like 1 million followers or so, something around that. And so you already have a big following as well, and people might be thinking that you're just coming here for more clout, as opposed to actually, like, trying to pursue, actually finding a relationship. But all in all, I think it wasn't as, like, I think I was still not disappointed, but I was still entertained by the season. I think, unlike you, I'm not, like, interested always in, like, toxicity, especially if it's not healthy.
No,
Like,
it
I
was
think
drama, yeah.
in the first half, like, I think sometimes, like watching Hoda, like, call Jeremiah out of his name, that's not entertaining to me. That's just, like, borderline abuse. So I don't think that's, like, fun to watch.
And I want to be clear about that. I don't want to say toxic. I mean, like, drama as far as, like, in hopes that things work out too. Like, for me, like, that's the biggest thing with, like, Huda and Jeremiah. Like, even though it was tense, it was stressful to see what Jeremiah was going through, but there was part of me that was like, oh, I hope they do work it out though too. Like, I do hope that they can still find a way.
No.
That was me. Like, I was trying to be hopeful for that. Like as much as I was like, oh yeah, wow, oh, this is crazy and everything, there was still a part of me that was just like, oh, I hope this works out. I hope, like, come on, like, can y'all fix it? Can y'all work this out, please? Like, y'all are entertaining right now, but just imagine, like, if they got through that, they would have won. Think about that, like, well, you never know. Like,
people voted for them to get broken up.
Huda made it to third place and everything, and so
yeah, because people started feeling bad for her because the producers of Love Island were definitely trying to paint her in a certain light of getting, like, a redemption story. And I think I'm all for, like, people like, I take things as they are. Like, when situation happened with her and Chris, I wasn't holding, like, what happened with Jeremiah or whatever against her. She deserves second chance. I'm always for people getting chances, but, like, still, like, that doesn't mean because you get a chance that you, like automatically now I'm just supposed to, like, vote for you to succeed. Like, I think a lot of people were just doing that because of how the show was portraying her or trying to portray her.
Mm-hmm.
But I think definitely was, I think season 6 was as good as it can be. I think we were bound to have a slight letdown. But still, it was a good month and a half of reality TV show. So, all in all, I think it was a success for them, and, good use of time for us. I finally got him into watching it, like, consistently, because he would always just, like, check in here and there for, like, one episode, but he actually, towards the end, he was watching it with the family.
Yeah, like, so. I really did enjoy it, and like I said, I enjoyed everyone on the, like, as far as just in general, like, in different ways, and I feel like they all...
Wait, okay. Yeah, no. Before you get... This is the last thing. This is the one thing. I hate... The thing that really gets on my nerves is when people are saying, like, she's just not my type. He's not my type. Can we just, like, look at people and see if they are, like, attractive? Oh, yeah. Like, all of these... Every woman that, like, came on this show, like, it actually annoys me because it seems like it's borderline, like you're just, like, so fixated on, like, one thing, and it's, like, almost like a fetish. Like, okay, I'm really just into, like, foreign Latinas. I'm into blonde girls. Like, can you just, like, look at anyone and be like, no, that she's an attractive girl. She has a great personality. I want to get to know her. Oh, no, but if she doesn't have blue eyes, then I'm done. No. Like, what are we talking about? That doesn't make sense to me. It actually annoys me. And, yeah, you're laughing because you might be one of these people who are like, my type. my type didn't come in, so I can't look at. Like, what are we talking about?
No.
I just had to get that off my chest. But
Yeah,
we can move on now.
It, man. Like you, how long you been keeping that in, man?
Because it's annoying. I'm looking at like objectively, like all these girls are attractive. So it's about finding the one that you can connect with.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't like when people are like, oh, she doesn't fit my archetype, so I'm just not gonna try it. I'm not even gonna open myself up to like getting to know her. So
yeah, I mean, there are people like that in real life too. As far as like I knew some people in college, and they said, "Oh, I only talk to this type of girl or this one girl." Like,
yeah, that's the thing that, like, saying I only talk to those types of people. But I understand having like, if you have like a preference, perhaps. But saying like if you don't think someone else is like attractive, like, and it's just weird to me, like how you think only one specific, like it could be for body type, it could be race, it could be whatever. Like if you just think a certain type of person is only attractive, that's what doesn't make sense to me.
Mm.
But I digress.
Yeah.
Move on.
All right, sounds good.